it's time to test your skills. This test was requested by Primal Hive tier member Kimmel Pronger. Thank you so much for your support. If you'd like to support me by becoming a member, the link is in the description below. Shout out to all the members who are supporting me. You can also help me out by clicking the like and subscribe buttons. Now let's get to the video. Raynor is arguably one of the weakest commanders in SC2 co-op, but he does have the tools for many head-on and multitask mutations. Just because he isn't the best doesn't mean he can't be good. And if you want to show your skills, take the various tests for bio and mech. For the tests, you can use any prestige. However, your main army must be bio. You can use mech units, but the mech units are generally only supporting the bio. In this first clip, vultures are spawn camping the lanes. The bio units are only there to finish off whatever's left. This is considered mech, since the vultures are doing the heavy lifting. In this second clip, the vultures are only here to deal with the outbreak aberrations. The bio army is going to push the objectives. This is considered bio with mech support. Same thing for mech. Mech means making an army with units from the starport or factory. You can use bio units like medics to heal. You can make a bunker or two, but again, your main army must be mech units. Let's begin with the bio head-on tests. Do note that really tough head-on mutations are generally handled with mech, so the bio head-on mutations will be kind of easy in comparison. The quiz is Robotic Revival. This will test your ability to power through enemies so that the drill doesn't deal too much damage. Despite Raynor being a weak commander, he wrecks Devouring Scourge too easily, so that won't be allowed here. Everything else is fair game. The midterm is Never Say Die. I thought this was going to be hard, but it's actually quite doable against many comps. You aren't allowed to fight against the weak 4, as well as Siege of Storms and Hope of the Kali. The final exam is Conflagration. You will need to play against pattern B, so you can't just turtle at home. Your unit control will be tested because the ground will be on fire. The dissertation is Train of Pain. Your Marine and Hyperion usage will be put to the test. No Devouring Scourge here either. The multitask tests are a bit more challenging. The quiz is World on Fire. You will need to control your units well to avoid the beams and nukes. Again, no Devouring Scourge. The midterm is Double Trouble. This looks intimidating, but it's really not. It's actually a macro test. There are no comp restrictions, so choose one that doesn't come with a lot of AoE. You really just need to keep making Marines and don't stim all of them at once every time you fight. The final exam is Infection Detected. The combination of alien incubation and self-destruction will test your unit control. You will probably need some mech assistance to get through this one. The dissertation is Timely Reinforcements. Raynor is good on ME, and P1 is also good against rifts, so that's perfect here. But here's something new. Open Dissertation. If you don't like this map or are sick of playing it, you are free to play any official rifts mutation for Raynor because they're all gonna be harder than this one. The one you play must be different from the one for mech. Now let's go to mech. Head-on tests first. The quiz is Delivery Guaranteed. You will need to time your call down usages well, and of course pay attention to the nukes and your army. The midterm is Medieval Times. Your ability to snipe slivers will also be tested. You will also have to split your infected units from healthy ones, and you'll probably have to learn how to deal with plagued spider mines. The final exam is Temple of Pain. You have to deal with pattern B with bio, so this time you have to fight against pattern A with mech. Fortunately, that's the one you want when your spawn camping capabilities will be tested. The dissertation is Enter the Nexus. If you want, you can try League of Vermilions instead. The other heroes' mutations are either too easy overall or too easy to spawn camp, so those cannot be played in place of Enter the Nexus. And now the multitask tests. The quiz is Secret Storm. This will test your energy management as well as your ability to deal with aggressive deployment. The midterm is Rest in Peace. You will need to deal with props while sniping the thrashers from the back. The final exam is Certain Demise. You will need to clear quickly as well as maintain map control so that the reanimators don't overwhelm you. And the dissertation is Bad Weather. Again, this is an open dissertation, so you can choose something different if you want. The assigned dissertations have VODs of my runs, so you can use them for reference. However, if you choose a different rifts mutation, there might not be anything to refer to, so just keep that in mind. Finally, we have a few skills tests. The first is to beat a missile command mutation with P1. If you beat World on Fire with P1 Bio, that will count for this as well. Second is to beat a missile command mutation with mech. This one must be different from the one you beat using bio. The next test is to beat a Minesweeper mutation. You can use bio or mech for the rest of these skill tests. Raynor kinda struggles against Minesweeper because it wastes precious mule energy. How will you maintain the balance between economy and minesweeping? The next skill test is Beat an Afraid of the Dark mutation. Most commanders have no choice but to suffer against AOTD. However, Raynor's scans allow him to attack in 2 places at once. There are 5 AOTD mutations, but the 2 that aren't listed here don't really require you to be in 2 places at once, so they can't be chosen. By the way, Raynor was legit top of S for Graveyard Shift. You can try for yourself and see. Raynor has great defenses, so he has to beat a difficult Dead of Night mutation. Graveyard Shift is not difficult, so you must choose one of these 5. This is another daunting test. Can you beat speed props? Most people are gonna attempt Think Fast, but if you're up for the challenge, aggressive recruitment is waiting for you. Use the fast vulture opening from my guide. The next skill test is to spawn camp the 3 lanes for the majority of the mission. If you did this for Temple of Pain, you are exempt from this test. However, since you can beat Temple of Pain without spawn camping, here's a test just for this skill in case you didn't. You must start spawn camping by the 6-minute hybrid wave and spawn camp all the waves until the last hybrid wave. If you miss the very last wave, that's fine. At most 2 ground, non-hybrid units are allowed to get past your spawn camp. Any more than that means your minefield wasn't enough. And if there are air units and they get through, that's fine. And the final skill test is to clear Temple quickly, just like many other commanders. Can you do it? So, Raynor main, are you up to the challenge? Here's a checklist of the tests. Cross them off as you complete them. Remember that you can use any prestige. And that's the end of the test. Like and subscribe if you want more tests for other commanders. Comment your thoughts on the challenges. If you want to submit a test for review, please go to my Discord. People who complete the tests can have their runs listed in my Hall of Fame sheet. Check it out in the description. And after you try these tests, why don't you check out some of the previous ones? They'll be appearing on the screen shortly. See you there!